Go ahead and title the next blank left page long division guided notes. And then put today's date, which is 9/12. All right. Now, how many of you guys remember long division? Anything? Something? All right. This again is a review. We still have a little, we're going to be doing long division, we're going to be doing decimals and fractions, which are all reviewed from 5th grade. Then we will be moving into 6th grade curriculum. All right, so the steps for long division are obviously the first step is you're going to divide. You will not be dividing like this. We're going to be doing the division house, whatever you want to call that thing, the house. We're going to be using that to do long division. So no horizontal division, just the long division house. All right, second step, you're going to multiply. Third step, you're going to subtract. And then the last step, you're going to bring down. The next number. Now, you can repeat, but how do you know if you need to repeat or not? You guys remember? How, you figure out if you need to repeat your answer or keep going. And that's okay. That's why we're reviewing long division, because some of us have forgotten. It's not a big deal. There's also lots of different ways to write your remainder. Sometimes you're going to use the R, which is very rare in 6th grade. A lot of times you're going to write it as a decimal or you're going to write it as a fraction. Those are the big things that are different from 5th grade to 6th grade when we're doing long division. All right, so these are some examples. So they've done 75 divided by 3. And what I always tell my students is this corner, I put a multiplication symbol on it. Why do you think I put a multiplication symbol there? Yeah. Right. Right. So essentially what you're doing is, yes, you're doing long division, but really you're kind of doing multiplication because you're thinking, well, what times 3 gives me 7 or close to 7 without going over? So this little corner always tells me I'm multiplying the top numbers by my outside number. Does that make sense? So you'll always hear me say this times that, or like I said, I'll put a little division or a little multiplication thing right there. All right, so again, this is just kind of an example of going through solving this problem. So let's just go right down here and we're going to get started. So the very first problem we're looking at is 95. Are you going to focus? There we go. Divided by 5. So the first thing we're doing, we wrote our division. We're going to multiply. What can I multiply 5 by to get me 9 or really close to 9 without going over? Gracie? No. Listen to my question. What can I multiply 5 by to get me to 9 or really close to 9 without going over? Hanson? Or Silas? Sorry.
2.
No. Samantha? 1. So I need to put a 1 directly above 9. This is another thing. If we struggle with organization, That's probably a huge reason why we can't divide. Because if you put it in the wrong place value, you're going to be completely off. All right? So then I do my multiplication. I'm going to subtract 9 minus 5. Raise your hand and tell me what is 9 minus 5. Sincere? 4. So I've done step 1. I've done step 2. I've done step 3. What is step 4? What's step 4? Why are you talking? What is step 4? Silas? Bring down. So I'm bringing down this 5. And I'm repeating. So this is, how do I know that I'm going to repeat if this is 45? Right? Right. I mean, 5 can go into 45, correct?
Yeah.
45 is bigger than my, what is the number on the outside actually called? What's that mathematical word? Do we remember? For a piece of candy, maybe we'll remember. What do you think, Everly?
Divisor?
Yes, it is the divisor. All right, for another piece of candy, raise your hand. What is the number underneath the division house called? Everly, come get a piece of candy. Oh, Lord, we got some. Oh, we all want to participate now. All right, Molly. Dividend, come get a piece of candy. What is our answer called in a division problem? BK. Not the product. Not. What's the answer in our division problem called? It's not product. It's not sum. Sincere. It is the question. Come get a piece of candy.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be like, I know all these things. It's in the back of my head.
Yeah, you just got to get the cobwebs off, right? All right. So we know we're going to continue. So what times 5 gives me 45? 9. So I put my 9 here. I do my subtraction. 45 minus 45 gives me 0. So am I done?
Yes.
All right, so I'm done if I end up with a 0, or depending on how we're writing our answer, a number less than my divisor. So the answer for this one is 19. All right, let's go ahead and do the next one. So 81 divided by 3. 81 divided by 3. All right, what do I multiply 3 by to get close to 8 without going over? Angel? 2. All right, so 3 times 2 gives me 6. What is 8 minus 6? Angel? 2. All right, so I've done my division, I've done my multiplication, I've done my subtraction. Raise your hand, tell me what is the next step. Summer. No, what is my next step? What is my next step, guys? So I've done division, I've done multiplication, I've done subtraction. What's the next step? PK? Bring down my next number. All right? How do I know? Am I done or am I repeating?
Keep going.
I'm going to keep going. Why? Raise your hand. Why am I going to keep going? Alex?
Because there's no 0.
There's no 0 and or what else? So you're right, there's no 0, but what's our other reason that we know we can keep going?
Because there's one more number.
No, there's not another. I mean, yeah, there's another place value up there, but there's another reason. Zachary?
The number that you brought down is bigger than the number we was divided by?
Yes. So the number we brought down is bigger than the number we're dividing by. So 3 times what gives me 21? Angel T. 7? Yes. All right, so we are good. So my answer is 27. All right. I know you guys are probably thinking, Miss Kenny, these are really easy.
Really?
Okay? I'm glad they're easy because we're building our confidence. All right? That is what's important right now, is to say, okay, I do know how to do long division. It's not as hard as I thought it was going to be or I remembered. So yes, these are going to be easy today. Some of them.
Thank you.
All right, let's keep going. 42. Good Lord. 92 divided by 4. Sincere, what do I do? Huh? Okay, so we've got our division written out. So what do we do next? Okay, so we got to say to ourselves, what times 4 gives me 9 or close to 9 without going over? Times 2. Okay, so that gives me 8. So 9 minus 8 gives me, Drake? 9 minus 8.
Oh, that's one.
Okay, so I've divided, multiplied, subtracted. Raise your hand and tell me, what do I do next? Molly? Bring my next number down. All right. Do I stop here or am I repeating my process again? And how do you know? Reagan? Why am I calling on you? So my question was, with 12 being the number that's at the bottom here, am I done or am I repeating the process again? How do you know? There's 2 ways you can know. What's one of them? So if you're not sure, baby, I need you paying attention 100% right now. Cannon, what do you think? Because 12 is bigger than 4. What's the other reason? What is the other reason, Mason? What's the other reason? That we know that we have to repeat our steps again. We said 12 is bigger than 4, but what else? Guys, you need to be paying attention if you cannot answer these questions. If I'm not writing, you're not writing. It's that simple. All right, Blake. Well, there's not a 0, but what do we have right here? An open place value, okay? So that is another reason. All right, what am I going to multiply 4 by to give me 12? Gracie? 3. All right, and then I have 0, so my answer is 23. All right, I want you and your group members to do the next 2. So 76 divided by 2 and 78 divided by 3. Stand up when you are done. Yes, Drake. Hurry up, son. Yeah, you're doing the next 2. The next 2. So you're doing this one
Oh, yeah, okay.
and this one. So the next 2.
Next 2. So 2 goes here. You want to help? Okay. So 2 goes into 73, right? 2 times 3 is 6. And then 3 times 6. 3. So it's 3 right on top of 7. And then you put that under 7 minus 3. And then you bring down to 1. And then you throw 1 right under that. 6.
Guys have a minute, 50 seconds if you're not done. Guys have a minute left. Minute left. Why are you touching any iPads at all? It doesn't matter what time it is. I will let you know when it is time to go. If you are standing, is your mouth running? Shouldn't be, right? All right, have a seat. Who would like to walk me through 76 divided by 2? 76 divided by 2. All right, BK.
You're gonna multiply 2 by 3
Okay.
and subtract 6 from 7.
Okay. Then what?
It's gonna equal 1. You're gonna put 3 above the 7,
Okay.
and you're gonna break down the 6.
All right.
And 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then you subtract 16 from 16, you get 0.
All right. So our answer for this one should be 38. We get that? All right. Raise your hand if you'd like to do the next one. Kira. Nice and loud.
We have 78 divided by 3.
Okay.
Closest 3 can get to 7. Well,
Multiply.
yeah, is 3 times 2.
Okay.
Which means we're going to put a 2 over the 7, and then a 6 under the 7.
Okay.
And we're going to subtract 6 from 7.
Okay.
And then I got 1.
Okay.
Because, yeah. And then we're going to bring down the 8.
All right.
You know we're not finished because 18 is not smaller than 3.
Okay.
But 3 times 6 equals 18.
All right.
So we're going to put a 6 next to the 2, and we're going to subtract the other 18 from the 18, which equals a 0, which gives us 26.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Shh. I don't know why we're talking because we still have notes and you have homework tonight. So you want to keep talking where you're not going to get the rest of the notes and it's going to make homework really hard. All right, slide over to the other side. So this is talking about remainders. So they have solved this problem over here. It says, when there's a remainder, there are 3 ways to write your answer. I've already told you one. I've actually told you a couple different ways. If you're listening, there's also 2 examples up here. What do you need, son? Not right now. Once we get into the independent part, you can. It's fine. Get an attitude. You don't need to go at all. So what's one way that we can write our answer with remainders? Silas? With an R. All right. So that would be remainder. Make sure I spell it right. Remainder 3. All right. What's another way that we can write our answer? Again, there's an example of it up there on your paper. All you have to do is look around. Mercedes. With a decimal. And then what is the last way? Ansley. As a fraction. All right. For this unit, we are going to write our remainder as a fraction. Now, looking at this problem, how many of you guys have ever done the circle, arrow, circle, arrow, circle? So what that means is your quotient becomes your whole number. Then you draw an arrow down to your remainder, which becomes your numerator. And then you draw an arrow to your divisor, which is your denominator. How many of you guys have heard that in the past? And then you ultimately get 23 and 1/6. That is a trick we are going to use. Please make sure you have this that I wrote down copied down. All right, so the first one, we're simply going to solve it and write it with a remainder R. Okay? So 65 divided by 2, what can I multiply 2 by to get close to 6? 3. Bring down my 5. What can I multiply 2 by to get close to 5 without going over? Sincere. 2. So then I'm going to minus 4 and I'm going to have a 1. The way we're going to write our remainder is a remainder 1. So that's one way. That will not happen very often though this year. The next one I want you to write it as a decimal. All right, so we have 97 divided by 4. What do I multiply 4 by to get 9? 2. I'm going to bring down my 7. What do I multiply 4 by to get 17 without going over? Ansley? 4. All right, I have 1. So this is where you throw a decimal after your whole number, and you add a 0 here, and you put a decimal there. Does that make sense? I'm going to bring down my 0, and then what do I multiply 4 by to get 10 without going over? 2. And we're going to stop at this point with our decimal just because I don't want to get too crazy into decimals because we're going to talk about it later. But for our answer for that one, it's 24 and 2/10. And the last one of this, we're going to write as a fraction. Okay? So what can I multiply, or it's 109 divided by 6. What can I multiply 6 by to get 1? Nothing. What can I, so with that being said, I want you to put a little X above your 1 so you don't put your digit in the wrong place. What do I multiply 6 by to get 10? Angel? 1. All right, so that gives me a 4. I'm going to bring down my 9. What do I multiply 6 by to get close to 49 without going over? Silas? 8. Stop talking, humming, whatever you're doing. All right, so now this is where that circle, arrow, circle comes in. So my answer becomes my whole number, which is 18. My remainder is my numerator, and my divisor is my denominator. Does that make sense? All right, as a group, I don't want you to write with the little r. You're either doing decimal or fraction for this last one. Okay? So decimal or fraction for the last one. As a group, decide. No.
Do you want us to stand there?
Yes. Stand up when you are finished. As a group, we're supposed to have decided how to solve this. About 20 more seconds. 20 more seconds. All right. How many of you guys wrote it with a decimal? Okay. How many of you guys wrote it with a fraction? All right. Just for time purposes, because the bell's about to ring. What's 5 times? That's just kidding. That should be a 2. That should be a 10. Sorry. Stop talking. Nobody told you to clean up. Sit down and open your notebooks right now. Because I'm pretty sure I did not dismiss anybody. Did I? So, if you wrote it as a fraction, it is that way. If you wrote it as a decimal, it would be that way. Did anybody get something different? Your homework for tonight is to solve this bottom problem. Please get this glued in. on this page that we just made. Then you may pack up and head out. Blake and Mason, you guys may go to the restroom when you are done packing up.